My best friend moved to South Korea, went silent for 8 months, and then accused me of manipulation for checking in. Now she says our friendship is over. I, 26 female, have been struggling with the fallout of a friendship that I genuinely valued. My friend 25 female moved to South Korea last year with her military spouse. We met during college and became particularly close during the pandemic. Being roommates through those challenging times brought us together in a way that I thought would last forever. Even after we moved to different cities, we stayed in frequent contact, exchanging texts and video calls several times a week. When she and her spouse were stationed in Korea, I knew it was going to be tough for her. She was moving to a country where she didn't speak the language, had no friends or family nearby, and would often be alone while her spouse was away on training missions. It wasn't long before she started sharing how isolating the experience was. I did my best to be a supportive friend, checking in on her regularly and sending little updates about my own life to keep her spirits up. About 3 months after her move, she started experiencing health problems. She was vague about the specifics, but I could tell she was worried. She was going from doctor to doctor, trying to figure out what was wrong. Naturally, I wanted to be there for her. But that's when everything changed. At first, the messages slowed. Our daily back and forths became more sporadic, and then eventually stopped. I assumed she was overwhelmed with her health concerns and adjusting to life in a foreign country. I tried to be patient, thinking she'd reach out when she was ready. But days turned into weeks, and then months, with no word from her. I'm the type of person who tends to overthink situations. I ran through every scenario in my mind. Was she upset with me? Had I said something wrong? Did something terrible happen? Still, I reminded myself that she might just need space. The time difference and her ongoing health issues surely didn't help. I convinced myself to wait. She'd text when she was ready. After 5 months of silence, concern got the better of me. I sent her a simple caring message. Hey, I hope you're doing okay, just thinking about you. No response. Another month passed, and I tried again. This time, I told her I missed her and hoped everything was all right. Still, nothing. I questioned whether I should keep reaching out. Was I bothering her? Was she ignoring me on purpose? But at the same time, I knew how hard things were for her before she disappeared. If something terrible had happened, and I hadn't checked in, I would regret it forever. I didn't want to be the kind of friend who abandons someone in their time of need. A few days ago, after nearly 8 months of silence, I sent her another message. This time, I was more direct. I told her I was worried, that I didn't know if something had happened, or if she was upset with me. I asked if she could please just let me know she was okay. That night she finally responded, but it wasn't what I expected. She was furious. According to her, I had been hounding her. She said my repeated attempts to contact her were an attempt to manipulate her into responding on my timeline. She accused me of tracking her online activity, looking for evidence that she was ignoring me. The worst part was that she believed I was, making her struggles all about myself. She said she was enduring great hardships, and that if this was how I treated a friend who was suffering, she wanted no part of it. Her words hit me like a punch to the stomach. I never meant to make her feel that way. I wasn't demanding constant communication. I wasn't angry at her for not replying. I was just worried. I cared. And yes, I missed her. I missed my friend, and it hurt to feel so disconnected from her. At the same time, I can see where she's coming from. She's been dealing with things I may not fully understand, being isolated in a foreign country, dealing with health concerns, and potentially feeling unsupported must be overwhelming. Maybe every message I sent was a reminder of how far away she was from the life she left behind. But it's also hard to shake the feeling that my intentions were misinterpreted. I never once tracked her activity or tried to use it against her. I simply noticed that she wasn't responding, and I worried about her. If she had told me once that she needed space, I would have understood. I wouldn't have sent another word. I just didn't know. Now I'm at a crossroads. I'm trying to decide whether to respond, apologize, or just give her the space she clearly needs. Part of me wonders if I've irreparably damaged our friendship. Another part of me wonders if she'll ever reach out again. I genuinely thought I was doing the right thing by checking in, but maybe I crossed a boundary I didn't know was there. Was I wrong to keep reaching out? Should I have just let her come to me when she was ready? Story 2. My dad got me an internship, then shamed me for canceling a presentation due to anxiety. Now he thinks I disrespected him and wasted his effort. My anxiety was at its peak during the pandemic. I was 15 years old, and the fear of going outside, removing my mask or talking to people, overwhelmed me. I would often experience severe physical symptoms like trembling hands, a racing heartbeat, excessive sweating, and even pain in my knees. Panic attacks were common, and I would break down at the slightest trigger. My family, although not entirely unsupportive, never truly understood what I was going through. My anxiety affected my school life as well. 2 of my teachers noticed my struggles and advised my mother to take me to a therapist after I had a public breakdown during a music practical. It was an embarrassing and difficult experience. While my mother did take me to a few therapists, she didn't handle my emotions well. There were instances where she became angry and frustrated when I couldn't stop crying. Her reactions made me hesitant to open up further. Fast forward to today, I'm now living in a different state for my studies. While I've made progress, social situations still make me anxious. I've learned coping mechanisms and try my best to manage it, but presentations and public speaking remain extremely difficult. Recently, I started an internship, and they assigned me the task of arranging a presentation. It was something I wasn't particularly excited about, but I resolved to try. Unfortunately, the presentation was scheduled on the same day as a family wedding. I informed my supervisors and team members that I wouldn't be able to attend. Out of the 4 of us, only 2 ended up presenting that day. Here's where things got tricky. My father had actually arranged the internship opportunity for me, using his connections. As we were driving back from the wedding, he asked if I could delay the presentation by half an hour so I could participate. When I told him I was too anxious and unprepared, he dismissed my concerns. He believed that facing my anxiety head-on was the only way to overcome it. The conversation escalated quickly. I tried to explain how anxiety doesn't work that way, but he kept pushing. At one point, he even compared me to my sister, saying, "She can do it, so why can't you?" That comment stung. I've spent years grappling with the fact that I don't navigate the world as easily as others do. I ended up canceling the presentation. Later, my father suggested I present the next day, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. The pressure was overwhelming. My mother later approached me, trying to mediate. She told me that my father was upset because he felt I had disrespected the effort he put into arranging the opportunity. I understand where she's coming from, but the weight of my anxiety was unbearable. I didn't want to disappoint him, but I also didn't want to compromise my mental well-being. In hindsight, I've been considering rescheduling the presentation for today or tomorrow. I don't want to let anyone down, and I know I need to work on managing my anxiety, but the lingering guilt and frustration remain. Did I act selfishly by refusing to present that day? Was it unreasonable to prioritize my mental health over my responsibilities? Story 3. My mom took my phone, AirPods, and wallet after an argument. Now I'm thinking of getting my own plan, but am I just making things worse? I, 16 female, often argue with my mom, 46 female, over a variety of issues, ranging from school and my part-time job to smaller disagreements like chores. Lately, I've noticed her expectations for me have increased, which I understand since I'm in my junior year of high school. However, I'm struggling to keep up with everything on my plate. I'm currently taking harder classes, working up to 18 hours a week, playing travel softball, and attending 2 schools as part of a specialized health career-related program. It's overwhelming, and I tend to get stressed easily, which often leads to arguments with my mom. One major frustration I have is how she handles my academic challenges. Instead of asking me how she can support me or what I need, she contacts my teachers directly. While I understand she's concerned, it makes me feel like she doesn't trust me to handle my responsibilities. I'm trying my best, but her constant interference adds more pressure. When we fight, my mom's immediate response is to take away my belongings, including my phone, Nintendo Switch, AirPods, and even my access to the family Xbox or computer. She doesn't seem to consider whether the punishment fits the situation. Recently, she took all of my devices because I forgot to turn in a lab worksheet for chemistry. I tried to explain that I had multiple quizzes and tests leading up to February break and needed to prioritize studying, but she refused to listen. What makes it harder is that her anger isn't always directed at me because of something I did. Sometimes she's upset from work, dealing with my younger siblings, or going through the challenges of her recent divorce from my dad. I end up bearing the brunt of her frustration. It feels unfair and exhausting. Another major issue is that she often complains about the cost of my phone bill. I've offered to pay for my portion or switch to my own plan, but she refuses. I've even suggested she take me to a store to set up a new plan, but she's adamantly against it. She won't allow me to get my driving permit either, making it impossible for me to manage this on my own. Her sarcastic response was that I should walk to Walmart and get it myself. After our most recent and particularly nasty fight, I've been staying with my dad. Without going into too much detail, we both said things we regret, and I know I'm not entirely blameless. However, what hurts the most is how she's refusing to communicate with me now. I've tried reaching out to her via my Apple Watch, since she still has my phone, but she either ignores my messages or sends back a dismissive thumbs up. To make matters worse, she's withholding all my belongings, including my phone, Switch, AirPods, and even my wallet, which contains my debit card. It feels like she's cutting off any sense of independence I might have. I'm beyond frustrated and tired of the constant cycle of fighting and punishment. I'm trying to find a middle ground, but it never seems good enough for her, no matter how hard I try. I recently did some research and found an affordable phone plan that even comes with a new phone. Since she's so adamant about keeping mine, I'm considering making the switch. It would give me a sense of freedom and control over at least one aspect of my life, but I'm also worried about the fallout. My mom might see it as a sign of disrespect, especially since she already believes I'm not appreciative of what she provides. My dad has been understanding, but he's hesitant to get too involved, since he doesn't want to worsen the situation. He's encouraged me to try to work things out with her, but it feels like I'm the only one trying. My mom hasn't shown any willingness to meet me halfway. So, am I the a-hole for wanting to leave my mom's phone plan and get my own? Should I give her more time to cool down and see if things improve? Or is it reasonable to take this step toward independence?